In fact, radioactive monkeys, radio, microwave, increase infrared. We're doing infrared next. Infrared is, by the way, what does infra mean? Infrastructure, inferior. If you are, what does infra, what's that root mean? If you're inferior to someone, you are better or worse? Better or worse?
If you're inferior, you're worse.
Inferior. So you have inferior and you have superior, right? Superior would be so superior is better. Inferior is like you're not as good. Infrastructure is like the understructure of your city, like the sewers and roads and things like that. And so infrared light is infrared under. What's it under? Red.
Oh.
It's under red, that's right. It's infrared is below red. Well, what do I mean below red? Well, its frequency is below red. So when we talk about infrared, IR for short, infrared light is below red. It is, if you look at the spectrum, it is the one just below red light. So if we look at the, the overall spectrum here, when we get to red, red is the first of the visible here. So red would be right in here, and infrared's right before it. So where do we see and use infrared light? Well, infrared light is perceived as heat. If you put your hand up to a lamp and you feel the heat radiating off of it, that's infrared light that you're feeling. Infrared light is detectable by humans as heat. You feel it. And so anytime that something is hot, it will emit infrared light. It will send out infrared light. And so one thing that we haven't said yet, I should have said this right at the beginning. Do you know one thing that radio waves, infrared waves, microwaves, they have in common? What do they look like? What do they all have in common? How do they
see them?
What?
You can't see them.
That's correct. You cannot see them. They are invisible. So even though all these different kinds of light, you think of light as a thing you see, there's a lot of kinds of light that you can't see. We'll talk more about that when we get to visible, but infrared is not visible. And so it's not visible, but it does sort of go through things better than visible light. A lot of times infrared light will leave an area better, more efficiently than visible light. So if you could see infrared light, you could actually see more stuff. You could sometimes infrared light will go through a wall or something, or through, leave a forest. And so one of the things that we do is we can make detectors. We can make goggles that sense infrared light and turn them into visible light for your eyes. And have you seen the movie The Predator?
Yeah.
And so you've seen the movie Predator. If you haven't, it's I probably should just show a video of it at some point, but if you've seen the movie Predator, a lot of times they'll show everything through the predator's eyes, and everything looks like red and yellow and blurry, but he can kind of see things like through vast expanses of jungle, and that's because that's what a heat vision goggle looks like. Some goggles allow you to see heat, and that's how and they work on this infrared light. In fact, you could there were times in wars, sometimes pilots would fly over jungles and you can't see where the camp is of the enemy, but those camps always give off heat. They give off more heat than their surroundings, and so if you're flying over a jungle and you're looking through these goggles, you can see where there might be a camp underneath, and you can bomb it if you like, which could be a problem because it may not be your enemy. You don't know who it is. It's just you just know that there's somebody living down there. But that does happen a lot in war. And so infrared radiation, we can use that to make heat vision goggles. Okay.